This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my idol. You're going to acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the 94th edition of the SmackDown Review. Of course, I am one of your hosts, John Crosco. You can find me on Twitter at BIGG_speaker, of course. And I know it is kind of weird today. I mean, it's just going to be me. Mike, he's actually out. He's at a high school reunion over the weekend, I guess you could say. And, you know, it's kind of weird. You know, I guess you could say this is going to be my first time doing this, breaking this whole episode down with y'all and everything. So, I mean, yeah, just kind of bear with me and just kind of roll with it, I guess you could say. I'm not trying to do like too many takes and everything like that. So just trying to do I guess you could say one take, if you want to quote Kanye Twitty. But, yeah, man, I do feel kind of like out of comfort, I guess you could say, you know, just being here by myself and everything like that. But y'all just got to bear with me, and we'll get through it, like I said. And, yeah, we'll just kind of break down the episode like normal and everything like that. Try not to give too much perspective or details on a lot of things, I guess you could say, just because, I don't know, I'm trying to have to, like, narrate this whole thing by myself. And it's going to be a process. But, yeah, definitely appreciate everybody that's, you know, listening and everything like that. And welcome back, I guess you could say. I know I was gone last week and everything like that. I was actually out at a softball tournament, so I kind of took a week off, you know, enjoyed myself and everything like that. We had a good time out there, me and Caleb Grant. I know Mike talks about him all the time, being a roommate and everything like that. But, yeah, shout out to him. You know, we had some fun out there. Ran a couple games, you know. Definitely did better than what I thought. But, yeah, I mean, it was fun and everything. And, of course, here we are another week after, and now it's my turn to take over. So, yeah, definitely, you know, things happen and everything like that. And, you know, of course, events happen. Of course, you want to be a part of them, enjoy them, you know, take everything in. And, yeah, I mean, understand why Mike's out there. You know, high school reunions, you get to meet up with all your old school friends and stuff like that. So I bet it's a blast, man. So definitely want to give some shout-outs to him. Hope he's being safe out there. And, yeah, I hope to see him back on Monday at work. But let's go ahead and get into this SmackDown review. Of course, it aired from Greenville, South Carolina on August 5th. And, of course, it starts with just a, you know, SummerSlam recap, you know, kind of giving, you know, highlights of what happened and everything like that. And, of course, if you missed it, it'd give you a little insight on, like, exactly what happened and everything like that. So it was good, you know, how it started off. But, of course, Pat McAfee, man, he definitely, he steals the beginning of this, man. He's going off, you know, just bragging about, like, his match against Corbin and everything. And, of course, he's, like, giving, like, the highlights to, like, the kick that he gave to Corbin in the nads and everything like that to set up the 1, 2, 3 for the win and everything. So it was good, you know. So, I mean, he definitely, like, he was definitely rubbing it in his face and everything. And, of course, it kind of just skips to Corbin being backstage, and he's watching this all on, like, a little monitor and everything. And, of course, there's a group of people that are standing behind him. They're all just back there chuckling, laughing at him. And, of course, you know, it's getting under his skin. You can definitely tell. And then, I don't know, Ricochet, he kind of just, like, steps up, you know, like, tells Corbin, you know, that karma is beautiful. You know, I thought it was going to kind of take a little left turn there. But, of course, that's what he said right there. So, I mean, it was all good. But then again, it turns into Ricochet just challenging Corbin right then and there, you know. And, of course, Corbin doesn't back down from it, and that's how we start our show. And that's what it is. I mean, it kind of just goes to that. I mean, Ricochet and Corbin, they go into a match, and, of course, I like these two whenever, or actually just like superstars, you know, these type of sets, like a big guy, you know, and, of course, like a good, like, flyer, I guess you could say, you know, and Ricochet. But I like whenever they pair up these type of superstars, you know, because it gives a lot of, like, what can happen in this match, you know. You're never just expecting, like, oh, just a couple, like, heavy moves and stuff like that. No, you got some high flying, you got some off the ropes type stuff. So yeah, it's all entertainment from here. So I wasn't mad at this. I mean, I thought it was a good way to start off the show, and I can't really be mad at it. Like I said, I mean, they're two good superstars. I mean, of course, Corbin, he's trying to bounce back from his loss at SummerSlam. So Ricochet being that person, I mean, I don't think that was really a good choice. I mean, of course, Ricochet, he's an awesome performer himself. And gosh dang, yeah, he was doing some spectacular moves, I guess you could say, just like off the ropes and everything. So yeah, it's definitely always good seeing these two. But yeah, I don't know, man. Ricochet, he gets this picture perfect, flawless shooting star. That's what Pat McAfee quoted it as, and that's what I wrote it down too. Just because, I mean, whenever he did it, I mean, it was perfect. The way he flipped and everything in the air. I mean, he had like so much height on it. I don't know. I thought it was good, but yeah, he hits Corbin with that, and of course, he gets the 1-2-3 for the win. And I don't know. The celebration starts from there, I guess you could say. Ricochet, he pulls out this football. He throws it over to Pat McAfee on the announcer's table. Pat McAfee, he signs it. He gives it a little boot, his punting thing into the crowd and everything like that. And it was good to see, I mean, definitely keeps like the crowd involved, and it's definitely just like some wholesome content, So he definitely made somebody's night by kicking them in that football and everything. So it was some good stuff. And of course, like, he benefits from like the reaction of the fans. They definitely love him and everything. So it's always good to see whenever somebody does stuff like that, especially whenever they're giving away like merchandise or even personal stuff. So I think that's always good stuff right there. But yeah, after this, we're taken backstage, and we're seeing Sami Zayn. He's back there, pacing back and forth, I guess, trying to figure out what he's going to do. And it seems like he's ready to, knock on the door of the locker room of Roman Reigns, tribal chief and everything. But he's met by the Usos. And basically, he starts congratulating them, letting them know, they did a good job at SummerSlam and everything. And of course, he wants to go in and give a congratulations to Roman Reigns, So that's what he's trying to do. But, I mean, he's held off by Jey Uso, and he's just telling them basically, like, this is not the right time, And then Jimmy Uso, he says that he'll end up texting them later about it and stuff like that. So he was like, okay, you'll text me, So it kind of just ends right there, kind of just like Sammy, walking away, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know what the motive is behind this, on what he's trying to do, other than congratulations or anything. But I don't know. It's kind of some interesting stuff right there. So yeah, definitely want to see like what turns out of this. But yeah, definitely got some more to talk about that here along the line. And then following that, we get a short little video package between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. From SummerSlam this past weekend, just kind of going over like the tap out, and then the 1-2-3 pinfall, I guess you could say. And I don't know, there's just some controversy in the air right there. And yeah, we'll definitely bounce into that here in a little bit. But then we do get a match for Shinsuke and Ludwig Kaiser, and this is a IC contenders match, so definitely some benefits from this for Shinsuke. It's good to see him, that he's kind of bouncing back into this role and everything like that. I know the last title run that he had with it wasn't probably the best, but I mean, he's bouncing back. He's looking a lot better than what he was previously and everything. So I think this is good for him. I mean, definitely, keeps him relevant and everything. So yeah, definitely not mad at this, but Ludwig Kaiser, man, he's definitely an impressive person. I kind of, or I wouldn't say looked him up, but I did under like Marcel and everything like that from NXT. And of course, he is a 2-time tag team champion or NXT champion. So, I mean, there's definitely some, he got it, that he has to be able to do this if he's actually had title belts and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can't say that he's not a bad person in ring. So, I mean, definitely an impressive person. But, of course, Shinsuke, we kind of knew what was going to happen here, There's nobody else going against Gunther at the moment. So, I mean, of course, there's only one way that this could have went, So my whole theory on like seeing this and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, Shinsuke's going to be able to bounce back and kind of show us what we needed to see rather than what we were seeing back then. So yeah, he does get a win. He hits Ludwig Kaiser with a Kinshasa, and that's it right there. You know, basically he 1-2-3s on me. It was a good match and everything, but of course, you know, Shinsuke had to pull through. You know, get this title run, or I wouldn't say run, but contendership. You know, maybe make the best of it. And I don't know, man. I definitely don't see him beating Gunther, but gosh, yeah, that's definitely going to be a good match right there, and I'm definitely not mad at it. So yeah, Shinsuke, he gets the win here, and it was actually pretty surprising, man. We didn't actually get to see. I wouldn't even want to say get to see, because those chops that Gunther have been giving Ludwig these past couple of weeks have just been horrible. So I'm glad we didn't actually have to see any of that. You know, maybe take the frustration out behind scenes and everything. But I mean, good round of applause for Shinsuke. But then again, man, I don't even want to know what Gunther has in store for Ludwig for this loss right here. So yeah, definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't say keep an eye out for that, but I think there is going to be some type of consequence coming down the line for him defending it this way. You know, I think that, there was actually a couple of times where I thought he was going to win. He had a couple 1-2s, you know, and I don't know, man, I thought it was just going to go a different way for a second. Ultimately, you know, Shinsuke, he gets that win. But we do bounce to another video package of the Viking Raiders. You know, they're just going over what had happened last week with Xavier Woods whenever they had put his ankle in the chair, and then they smashed it with with their shields, I guess you could say. And, you know, kind of just it leads to Megan giving Kofi Kingston a interview backstage, and he's just basically like saying, you know, that it feels kind of weird, you know, just him being by himself without Xavier Woods or Big E beside him and everything. And right whenever he said that, man, I was like, gosh dang, it kind of relates to me tonight, because I'm kind of in this little same situation. But of course, you know, look at him, he's going to make the best of it. You know, he gets like a New Day Rock chant going and New Day Rocks chant going and everything like that. And so the crowd's behind him, you know, so he definitely, he gets his ego boosted, I guess you could say, you know, little adrenaline running and stuff like that. So I mean, it was definitely good to see him, you know, get the best of that situation. But after that, we get another backstage scene with Sami Zayn, and again, here he is at Roman Reigns' locker room, you know, just back and forth, trying to figure out what he's trying to do. But then Jimmy comes out, and he's just basically telling him, you know, just make sure that Roman's music, his entrance, and his pyro is perfect, you know. So basically just giving them duties to kind of get them out of their hair and everything like that. And that's basically what he agrees to do. You know, he says that he'll make sure that it gets taken care of and everything like that. And that's the end of that little short video. And then outside in the ring, we get Kayla Braxton, and she's bringing in Liv Morgan. You know, so she announces our SmackDown Women's Champion and everything like that. And of course, she goes straight to, you know, asking like what happened this past weekend at SummerSlam and everything like that, with like all the confusion about her either tapping out, you know, or getting the actual 1-2-3 win. But of course, she is a champion, so I mean, we see it what actually happened at that point. But I mean, everybody started chanting. I forgot what it was they were saying. You tapped out. Yeah, that's what it was. You tapped out. So basically, like, the crowd's already against her, and it's kind of weird because, you know, like, whenever we're at SummerSlam, like, everybody was like cheering for her, you know, like they wanted her to win and everything. But now that like this little controversy has happened, like, now are we just turning on Liv like as if she's just nothing right now? I mean, I just don't get it, you know, because she won basically. I mean, the ref saw 1-2-3. He didn't see the tap out. So I mean, we basically see who is holding the championship belt at this moment. And of course, you know, I don't know what the heck's supposed to happen, man. I mean, of course we get like the Gauntlet match and everything like that, but what's going on with like Ronda Rousey? I mean, of course she got suspended and she got like a fine and everything like that, but like what more details are we needing to see? You know, because at this point, I mean, we're kind of just like, who's next? You know, like, of course we're gonna figure that out here in a sec, but right now we're just kind of like, I mean, I don't really see nothing. Of course, like Liv, she comes out in like a sling and everything. So, I mean, of course she's like hurt. She can't really compete for it or anything like that at this moment. But now we're just at a crossroads of who's next, I guess you could say. But Liv, she begins to try to explain herself, like, I guess you could say, like, quote for quote, the elephant in the room of what happened and everything. And then she's interrupted by Sonya Deville. And she comes out and she's basically just trying to say that Liv, she doesn't deserve to be the champ, and of course she's going to be, or after she wins this Gauntlet match, that she's going to be the one that takes the championship from Liv at Clash at the Castle. So of course she's basically making some bold statements early on and everything like that. But then that's what we transition to right away, is a match between Sonya Deville versus Aaliyah for the start of this whole Gauntlet match and everything. So, I mean, it starts quick, you know. I mean, of course, you know, Sonya Deville and Aaliyah, they start going at it and everything like that. And the new move, I want to say that Pat McAfee referred to it was Deville's advocate, that she had hit on Aaliyah to get the win on this. But I thought it was a pretty nice move. It looked nice. I mean, it seems like it was pretty smooth and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, she gets the win on Aaliyah with that, and of course she bounces to the next opponent, which is Raquel Rodriguez. And then Raquel, she starts running it for a while. You know, she's, you know, big person. You know, she's powerful and everything like that, very strong. So yeah, she starts to dominate, and you could just tell, like, okay, yeah, Sonya Deville, she's definitely about to lose this one. She gets hit with the Tejana Bomb for the 1, 2, 3, and of course that brings out the next opponent, which is Shotzi. And she puts some work on Raquel, and she starts, I guess you could say, starting wearing her down. You know, trying to put her in like some submissions to kind of cool off the momentum that she got rolling on right now. And I mean, it works for a good second, you know, but I mean, same thing. Raquel, I mean, she's just a dominant force. She starts to power back, and then she basically just gets the win over Shotzi, bringing out Xia Li. And this was like, okay, I was thinking Xia Li, she might be able to get the best of her. But, I mean, all she really started doing was attacking like a certain part of the body, you know, starting to weaken her, I guess you could say. And it works. I mean, it starts to slow her down and everything like that. And of course, she's a tall person, so if you can keep somebody down on the mat as long as possible, you know, that's the best way to do it. But I mean, she ends up, or Xia Li actually gets eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez with the Tejana Bomb as well. And then we have, next up is Natalya. And right away, you know, you got to think like Natalya, oh yeah, she was backstage, like, or backstage watching this, you know. So of course, like right whenever she comes out, she goes for that left knee, you know. And of course, that's, you know, a good focus point at the moment. You know, she's definitely got some wear and tear on it already. So I don't know. I mean, I say she went for the veteran move on this, you know, like pointing it out and everything like that. And I'm not mad at it, because, like, of course, she's taking advantage to try to improve her chances on winning this match, you know, move on to the next opponent. But I mean, you can't stop Raquel. That's one thing. It's like clear to see, I guess you could say. I mean, she's just, once she starts going, she's rolling, and you can't be mad at it, because if you look at Raquel, you think, oh yeah, she's a believable winner, I guess you could say. And I don't put nothing past her, of course. I mean, she may have her little, what would you say, weaknesses, I guess you could say. I mean, you can't really point them out or anything, but I mean, there's ways to defeat anybody, you know. I mean, choke them out or something like that, or, you know, the submission, any type of deal, you know. I mean, that's basically like how it is in this sport, I guess you could say. But eventually, Raquel Rodriguez, she gets this was a pretty massive power bomb to me on Natalya, and that's it from there. You know, she gets the 1, 2, 3, and then brings out the next opponent, which is Shayna Baszler. And whenever she came out, I was like, okay, this is going to be a good one right here, just because you have a brutal person and you have a like heavy hitter, I guess you could say. I'm not saying Shayna Baszler isn't strong or anything like that, but I think she's just more of a I'm a really hurt you type person, I guess you could say. And that proved in this part, because right away, you know, she starts doing like stomps on the knee, she like kicking like hands and wrist and everything like that. So she's definitely like she's making you feel some pain, I guess you could say. And I'm not mad at it, because, you know, somebody got to make the women's division, I guess you could say, more believable. You know, I'm not saying like, oh, we don't have no good women that don't perform awesomely, I guess you could say. But I mean, if you think of a person that's going to put you in through some pain, you know, you think Shayna Baszler, or in my head at least. I mean, so I mean, of course, we all have our different opinions and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Me fighting Shayna Baszler, I think, oh, okay, this is probably a bad match right here, I guess you could say. I know I'm kind of ranting off on it and stuff like that, but yeah, man, I wouldn't want to see her in a match. But I mean, she definitely does get the best of Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, she gets the I don't even know what happened right here. I mean, because Raquel Rodriguez, she was doing her spinning elbow bomb off the top rope, second rope, I guess you could say. And Shayna Baszler, she like transitioned into a counter from some way. She like catches her in between her legs and then puts her in a chokehold, and like basically just holds that for like a majority of the end of the match, you know. And I was like sitting there thinking like, that's actually like real. Like you could see like Raquel Rodriguez's face turning like purple and stuff like that, and you can tell her body's just kind of going limp, you know. And then Michael Cole, he actually says it, you know, she's fading, and eventually, like you're standing or sitting there watching this, like, is she ever gonna let her go, you know? So I mean, they both like kind of like walk into the corner, and it's weird because like Raquel, she's in like arm distance of grabbing the rope, but she doesn't ever do it until about a good like, I don't know, maybe like 5 seconds of standing in the corner, I guess you could say, like seeming like as if she's like barely regaining her like consciousness or her breath maybe. But yeah, I mean, Shayna, she definitely put her in a pretty tight hold, and it definitely looked as if it was taking the most out of her. So I mean, that's what she is, I guess you could say. You know, like I said, she's brutal. That's type of, you know, match to expect from her. But I don't know, man. But yeah, so somehow it turns into like Raquel, she pushes off the corner of the ropes, and then like, I don't know, like falls into some type of like roll up, I guess you could say, for Shayna, and she gets the win, the 1, 2, 3 on that, and she becomes the contender for the women's championship belt here at Clash of the Castle. So yeah, that's something definitely to look forward to. I mean, I don't know what to say for Liv right there. I mean, because yeah, I think Liv is definitely going to take a nice little beating for holding that belt and everything like that. But if she can pull this off, man, she can. Very believable as a champ or a women's championship for me. You know, if she can somehow pull off this win against Shayna Baszler at Clash of the Castle, I'm all for it. So yeah, Liv Morgan, hopefully you get out of that sling as quick as possible, you know, get back to training, get your body right. Because yeah, I think Shayna, she's definitely going to put something, put some hurt on you, I guess you could say. And like I said, if she pulls through, it's going to be awesome. But after that, man, we get basically a squash match in my eyes, because you basically got Viking Raiders versus, I only caught one of the names, Tommy Gibson. And basically it was just like some local talent, I guess you could say. I mean, you can tell these dudes were just set up for failure from the very beginning, because these guys were nowhere in the same physique as the Viking Raiders. You know, you got two humongous guys over here in this corner, and then you got two small guys over here, and they're just getting tossed around, you know, and it was pretty bad. I do feel bad for one of the guys. He got like power bombed onto the other guy, and it looked like it kind of messed up his stomach, ribs area, you know. And basically that's how the match had ended right there, you know. Just pinned one guy on top of the other guy, and that was the win right there, you know. So I really can't say much about this besides I feel sorry for them guys that just came in here for at least like 3 minutes and just got completely beat up from the start of the bell to the end of it. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be them. But I mean, of course, you know, Viking Raiders, they're getting this little push, but I just don't understand why they had to completely go and get nobody to show that these guys are vicious, which they're called, you know, Vicious Raiders or Viking Raiders, whatever you want to say. But I don't know, man. I just felt bad for those two. But of course, you know, stuff has happened. Gunther, he went through a couple of these where he put some people through some pain, I guarantee. And I guess that's what it is with these, you know. I mean, you can't really say like who's supposed to go against who. I mean, obviously they're hurting main people from the roster and everything in Xavier Woods, you know, with the ankle and everything. And definitely taken away from the New Day. I mean, they're definitely down 2 people already, and it's just not looking good for them. Of course, Kofi Kingston, he's holding his own at this moment, but gosh dang. But yeah, we're at the end of this match, you know, Viking Raiders, they kind of tossed the 2 guys out of the ring and, you know, doing their little celebration and everything like that. And then out of nowhere, here comes Kofi Kingston with a kendo stick, and he's going to town, you know. He's basically just like beating up on both of them with it. You know, this thing is breaking and everything. So yeah, he definitely got some good whacks in. But this basically turns into a singles match between Kofi and Eric, and it was quick, you know. Wasn't too much. It was a good back and forth. Kofi, he eventually gets the win. I don't know. It happened. What I would say is like it basically happened outside of the ring. You know, Kofi, he jumps onto Eric, and then here comes Ivar with a kendo stick to try to, you know, whack him a couple times. But Kofi counters it, and he ends up hitting Eric or Ivar with a kick to the face. And then this basically like transitioned into the ring, him and Eric at the time, and then it's basically just a quick little roll up for Kofi Kingston, you know. Definitely takes advantage of this. He gets the win, and he definitely defends the New Day's name in this sense, you know. Getting a good win, you know, singles match and everything, showing what he can do, I guess you could say, with nobody else in his corner. And, you know, basically just pulling it off, you know. I guarantee Xavier Woods was happy for him. Big E probably rooting for him as well. Shout out to Big E, hopefully, or actually both of them now, because they're both hurt. So, I mean, hopefully everything, you know, is going good with them, speedy recoveries and everything. But, yeah, he definitely, he did what he had to do to defend himself as well, you know. So, I mean, that was a good thing and everything, and definitely can't be mad at it, and definitely want to see what comes about this next week and everything. So after all that, we are taken backstage again. Guess where we're at? We are at Tribal Chief's locker room, and of course we got Sami Zayn standing outside again. Now I'm so curious of why this is getting so much time, you know, just for them to basically like just keep pushing this guy off, you know. I mean, not taking anything from Sami Zayn. I mean, he's definitely the character. You know, I think he's doing pretty good in this role, and you know what he's trying to be and stuff like that. But I mean, it's starting to get to that point. Like, what is he doing? What is he doing to, like, I guess make any of this like easier? You know, the road smoother type stuff. You know, I mean, I guess he was helping out whenever he was helping with like entrance distraction type stuff. You know that. Maybe, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I guess you could say. But that's it. I mean, I can't see a direction on what he's trying to do or the plan that he has set for this, So maybe if we were able to see him talk to Roman Reigns and maybe describe what he's trying to do, or I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just can't see what it is. I mean, but for them to be holding him out like this, I mean, I'm not mad at it either. Of course, he's the odd guy out, I guess you could say. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for him. Of course, it was kind of just like a leap for him, So I mean, I don't know, but I mean, he is met by the Usos again, and of course, he's still trying to talk to Roman Reigns, congratulate him and stuff. But then Jimmy Uso, or actually Jey Uso, sorry about that, he just tells him, he's like, well, basically, he's talking about all the gold that the bloodline is carrying, and he's basically like, I guess, taking a shot at Sami, saying that he needs to start carrying his own weight or he's going to have to take the bloodline shirt off real soon. So he gives him an ultimatum, I guess you could say, like either start doing your own stuff, making your own name. I don't know if he really meant it like that, but I mean, of course, you got to start making your name for you, I guess you could say at this point, because basically you're just wearing our shirt for nothing, like you ain't really helping with nothing. Paul Heyman is doing more of a job than you, and all he does is talk, I guess you could say. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I can kind of see that too from like one perspective, but I mean, then again, what's the motive behind Sami Zayn and all this? Like what was the whole point of him doing this from the very get? And I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, I guess you could say where we're at right now, like a stop at a halt. Like, yeah, you got to start doing your own thing type thing. But other than that, yeah, I don't see no direction for it. And it's kind of good that we're kind of seeing the Jey Uso part, because the whole time he's just standing there, mugging. Doesn't look like he's comfortable with the situation. Like, I don't know, man. So, yeah, he definitely, like, barks at him at this time and definitely gives him, like, the expectation that he has to have going forward with this. So, I wasn't mad at that. I mean, I guess you could say it kind of led us to the direction that it needed to go. But following that, we get of course, you already guessed who it was, the Bloodline. Your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He's here, Of course, he has a couple things that he needs to address, which he starts off saying. Of course, he hits everybody with Greenville, South Carolina, with the original acknowledge me. But then, I mean, of course, he says that he has some things that he wants to address. So basically, the first thing is he hates Brock Lesnar. So he's definitely giving his little rant about like what happened and everything like that. And of course, he's going into like the F5 that Brock Lesnar had gave Paul Heyman, and of course, just saying, give prayers to him and everything. The wise man, he's in the hospital and everything. And of course, here comes Drew McIntyre. His music hits. He comes out. He basically just interrupts. He's he calls Roman the tribal queef. And yes, I did say that right, the tribal queef. And I do not acknowledge that. Let me say that first and foremost, I guess you could say. But yeah, that didn't ring with me, I guess you could say. And it actually, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of laughed at it. But then again, I was like, you gotta watch it, man. But then again, it's kind of hard because you got Drew McIntyre going against Roman Reigns now. You got two, awesome superstars. Of course, you know what side I'm on and everything like that in the long run. But yeah, it's kind of hard to decide right here. But like I said, ultimately we know what side I'm ultimately on, and yeah, I mean Roman Reigns all the way, I guess you could say. But I mean, he starts coming down, or Drew McIntyre, he starts coming down the ramp and everything, and he's basically, just I don't know, talking a smack, and he asked the crowd, if they wanted to see the bloodline get their asses whooped tonight, So, of course, they pop for it and everything. And the most unexpected thing happens. I mean, I don't know if anybody like predicted this before, but I mean, of course, from the people that were like writing in Discord and everything like that at the time of this all happening, I mean, it was a big shock, So, I mean, I'm definitely, it's new to me. I mean, of course, I know NXT and everything like that, but I mean, the person that comes out is Karrion Kross, and people lost it. Michael Cole, he was actually surprised as well. He didn't even know, and it was just a crazy moment because it kind of throws like us for a loophole, because now what does Karrion Kross have to do with the involvement of this Clash at the Castle match between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns? But of course, Karrion Kross, he actually, whenever his music hits, it's kind of blank for a little while. I want to say Scarlett, she's back there holding an hourglass at the entrance and everything at the very top of the ramp, I guess you could say. And then, I don't know, just out of nowhere, Karrion Kross, he just starts, he runs up on Drew McIntyre, he hits him with the blind side in the back and everything, and he just starts wailing on him from there, takes him down to the ramp, he slams him into the steps and everything. And Scarlett, she puts like this hourglass, on the ring, facing, I wouldn't say facing, but, visible to the bloodline and everybody that's in that little area, she flips it, and of course the sand starts dripping, falling, pouring, whatever you want to say. And then, I mean, what can you take from this other than, like, your time is very limited, with the hourglass type deal, wasn't anything said between Karrion Kross or the bloodline. It was just a stare down, a kind of confused look. It looked like from Roman Reigns in a way, like, well, what is this all about? What's it for? Type stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, it kind of throws us in the loophole because now we got an extra person jumping in the middle of a feud for what? Because like I said, he attacked Drew McIntyre. So is the attention towards Drew, or is the attention towards Roman, just because there was two different situations that happened in all this little time, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looked like Karrion Kross, like him coming out, him being revealed, I guess you could say, was a big surprise for everybody. Like I said, I mean, Discord was going crazy. More than a handful of people, I guess you could say, was bouncing for it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see. Like I said, I mean, he's new to me and everything, so it's kind of awesome to see like another face coming in, especially with like everything that's been going on with like people being brought in. It's definitely starting to show that Triple H is like taking over, I guess you could say. I mean, of course, like Twitter and everything, there's like all the feed and stuff like that. So that's where I'm kind of getting like my insight on it and stuff. So if Triple H is doing this, man, I can definitely say, like, round of applause, because me as a fan, as a viewer, like, I'm definitely on the edge of my seat now, just because, like, everything's starting to spice up in little ways, but then again, it's going to turn into a big boom at the end of this, so I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see, like, some of the new faces that are popping up. I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen like the Bailey, the Io Sky, the Dakota Kai, all of them coming back and everything. Yeah, there's more people and everything, but Karrion Kross, like I said tonight, it's just crazy, like the direction of how things are changing already. It's like fast, it's only been a week, of course. Monday Night Raw had already came out. And that was a banger. I wasn't mad at that show at all. I mean, it was definitely something to watch this past Monday. And of course, SmackDown. Sorry about that. I mean, we come over here and we're starting to get new stuff already too. So I mean, like I said, it's starting to change direction in some way, but in the long run, it's starting to be good. And I'm all for it. So I can't really complain about it. keep bringing these new faces, I guess you could say, because, I mean, of course, I wouldn't say people get tired of, like, the same stuff, but then again, you have, like, so many of these repeat segments and everything. You definitely can, like, fill some of that time with something more valuable, I guess you could say, another storyline or another feud, something like that, It's just, like, so many different options that they can do now that they're adding people rather than just keeping it focused around like 3 to 4 people, so it's a good thing for me. But yeah, that's basically how we go off the air. I mean, we just have a pretty intense stare down between Karrion Kross and the Bloodline, just I don't even know what to think about this, Drew McIntyre all laid out over there by the steps and everything, but I mean, it is what it is, I mean, we're getting the new stuff and it's coming quick, so just got to go with it, roll with it, and take it how it is, I guess you could say. But yeah, that is it for our SmackDown review. I mean, tried to do this as best I could. I know, man, I said that it was going to be like a one take thing. Gosh, this thing took me so long just trying to get this all situated and everything. But I mean, it was a fun process. I mean, definitely like some learning and stuff like that I had to do with like the editing and all the backstage stuff of podcasting, I guess you could say. And it was cool. Like I said, it was definitely like a new experience to me. And man, I felt like I butchered this show, but then again, we had to get it pumped out for you, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody. And I might have done it with this episode, but then again, like, it's all just me spreading my wings, I guess you could say. That's what Mike said to me whenever he told me about this morning and everything. And yeah, I had a good day to digest it, I guess you could say. I mean, of course, from like 8 o'clock this morning, but I mean, oh man, the nerves were there the whole time, still thinking about it, and then especially whenever I got in the seat, and yeah, it's just been a tough little time, I guess you could say. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I do appreciate y'all for giving me the time or giving us the time, I guess you could say, because it's a pretty big deal that we got going on. I just see it as something casual, just like talking to y'all, like. Of course, I mean, I might not be able to spark the interest that a lot of people would, but as long as y'all are with me, I mean, I'm here to do this, so I mean, it's all fun, and I take it as serious as I can. I hate missing and everything like that, but I mean, of course, like, things do come up, and of course, try to enjoy life as much as I can. Pretty sure that's what Mike's got going on right now. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I swear he better bring me a barbecue plate. That's all I'm asking for. But man, yeah, I did enjoy it tonight, and I do appreciate y'all for listening and everything like that. And of course, if you're tired of all those ads, you want to become a Patreon member, you hear us talking about like being in the Discord server and everything like that, and being able, just to. Well, for me, I mean. I sit back and watch now. I felt like I kind of crossed the line one time with DJ Kuzmo. Shout out. I accidentally said that he was, or stated that he was a Raiders fan, and it was kind of an awkward moment. I mean, I guess you could say, but it broke the ice between us. I mean, it was cool, I guess you could say. He didn't take it offensively or anything like that, and that's one of the first people that I've had an interaction with on here. So, it's definitely cool to have those interactions. Like I said, I embrace them. If y'all have any criticism for tonight's show, I definitely want to hear it. I know I'm going to listen to this, and I'm definitely going to criticize myself. And like I said, it's not bad or anything like that. I'm trying to do this, and everything like that. And if Mike's gone, I mean, I want to be able to be the dependable person to pump out this episode for y'all and everything like that every week. And like I said, I mean, it's just a new experience for me, and just got to get it down. And once I get the talking down, I guess you could say, that's whenever things will start to smooth out. But yeah, like I said, I do appreciate y'all for listening and everything like that. I do want to give a shout out to all the listeners, I guess you could say. Appreciate y'all for tuning in every week, and yeah, making this part of y'all's week, so yeah, that's a big thing for me, I guess you could say, because man, it's crazy, like, the amount of people that listen to this stuff. And I don't know, it just blows my mind every time, like Mike or Matt, they have like a new milestone for themselves, and I'm just like sitting back, and I'm like, Dang, dude, that is pretty cool. But yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to Mike. I hope he's having fun out there, enjoying his time and football season. He has his football function. It's streaming on any platform that you're listening to this on. If you want to check that out, preseason's next week, so it's about to start getting juicy. And these guys, they do their work. They definitely put their time into it. They do a lot of research. I mean, it blows my mind with the amount of content that Mike can come out with, just between him and his co-host Terry, so it's crazy, But yeah, football function, definitely check that out. And yeah, if you're interested in football and stuff like that, yeah, it's something that you want to look into. But that is it for us. I mean, we are going to wrap it up here, and I do appreciate y'all and everything like that, like I said before. But yeah, let's go out there, enjoy a good weekend. I hope y'all have a good weekend. And yeah, see y'all back here next week.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.